An animal farmer has publicly warned for me not to protest this year's Royal Show.
No, those animals are so pampered, they're so well cared for.
This farmer is so delusional.
They are spoiled, absolutely rotten.
This is just sick.
Excuse me, what did you call me?
Yeah, you're going.
Get the camera off. Get the...
Oi! It's disgusting what they just did to him.
You know better. It's not your first rodeo.
Mother dairy cows!
Tash Peterson is back and she is acting just like normal, a pathetic, stupid psycho. She turns up at a place that she has been banned from in disguise. But that's only the beginning.
And forcibly impregnated!
Okay, Josh, you're doing it. Okay, we're going.
Tash Peterson has been told by the courts that she is not allowed to protest anymore, hence turning up in disguise. So she hasn't learned her lesson in any way, shape or form, and she keeps making the same mistakes with the same results. In my opinion, she is going to end up in jail, and that is the best place for her.
Cows enslaved in the dairy industry and forcibly impregnated. After a 9-month pregnancy, when she gives birth, her baby is kidnapped from her so you can steal her milk. If her baby is born male, he's bludgeoned to death or sent to a slaughterhouse just days to weeks old.
Tash's argument all the time is that she is standing up for the animals because they can't speak for themselves. Why, if she is such a dedicated activist, did she only give $100 in a year to help these animals? Why is she not protesting at the places that actually do things in a wrong way? Like, the show she's at is not doing anything wrong because those animals are extremely well looked after and pampered, which we will get onto. What she needs to do is go to the places where the farming is done in an inhumane way. That's where she needs to protest. So why doesn't she do that? I think that is going to be answered later on as well, but not in the way that you may think.
These babies should be with their mothers right now drinking their milk. Every year in Australia alone, over 1 million male bobby calves are murdered in the dairy industry. The baby girls endure the same life of slavery, repeated and forcible impregnation, and she'll be sent to a slaughterhouse just 4 to 7 years of age. If you're not vegan, you pay for slavery, torture and murder. Watch Dominion on YouTube for the truth. These babies should be with their mothers, but they're not, so you can have dairy products. Stop supporting this violence.
Those babies look perfectly happy to me. I mean, they're not trying to escape, are they? They're laying there perfectly happy. And to be honest, the only person who's really disturbing them is Tash Peterson by shouting. She's the one actually causing the disturbance, which could possibly upset the cows. And what she's saying is not actually true. The milk is taken from the mothers and given to the baby cows because that's what they need to survive. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there if they weren't fed the milk, would they? So, you've got to put things into perspective, but that's not Tash's way, is it? No, she's got to rage bait everybody to try and get her point across. But her point is not actually valid. It's not actually true. They do take the excess milk from the cows. They don't take all the milk. The babies get the milk. So she's just totally delusional.
Animals want to live.
Just like us.
Animals feel pain.
Just like us.
Their bodies.
Not ours.
Their lives. Excuse me, what did you call me?
You dumb.
What, you're responsible for the mothers?
Find out some truth, you dumb bitch.
Okay, so why are the babies separated from their mothers? Why aren't they with their mothers?
They are well and truly looked after.
Why are the babies separated from their mothers and sent to a slaughterhouse?
Because if you...
They're sent to a slaughterhouse.
She asked the question, but she don't even let the boy answer it. Is that because the truth hurts, Tash?
You're going.
Dairy cows and forcibly impregnated. After a 9-month pregnancy, when she gives birth, her baby is kidnapped from her. If he's born male, he's sent his bludgeon.
The security guard is running towards the cameraman and he says, "I'm not with her." What a coward. It's 100% clear he is with her. I mean, when your boyfriend disowns you, that says a lot, really, doesn't it?
To death or sent to a slaughterhouse just days to weeks old.
Get the camera off him. Get the...
Oi!
Let's go. Hey!
Oi!
Get the...
What? This is so wrong.
Get the police. Tash, get off.
Please do
Let go of the camera.
We will comply if
Let
you
go.
do not steal
Let go
our
of me.
property.
Let go of the camera.
We will comply if you do not
I'm
steal
handing
our
it to the
property.
police.
You're
Let
not-
go of the property. Let go yourself. Why? It's my property. I haven't done it. What have I done? Tell me what I've done.
Can
You want the
someone
camera?
please
You
call the
need the
police?
camera?
This
Just
is
don't
so
break it.
wrong,
Don't break it.
please.
Don't break it.
They put him in a headlock. It's disgusting. It's disgusting what they're doing to him. Please, please just get them off him. He didn't do anything wrong. Please, just get them off him. Please, please. Can you please just make sure he's okay? It's disgusting. It's actually disgusting.
Do they live in La La Land? Because they certainly don't live in the real world, do they? We did not do anything wrong. Okay, so trespassing's not wrong. The courts have told you you are not allowed to go and trespass in certain parts of Australia, and the bit you're in is the bit you've been banned from. But that's not wrong. So a court tells you don't do something and you do it, but you're not in the wrong. And they were not stealing your property, they were handing it to the police and making sure that the police got it, because it's evidence of the fact that you are breaking the law.
It's disgusting what they just did to him.
You know better. It's not your first rodeo.
Mother dairy cows are raped and forcibly impregnated. When she gives birth, her babies are kidnapped from her. Imagine having your baby ripped away from you and your breast milk stolen. Every year in Australia, 1 million male bobby calves just days old are bludgeoned to death, or they're sent to a slaughterhouse with their throats slit. This is what you support if you're not vegan. Please watch Dominion on YouTube for the truth. Stop supporting slavery, torture, abuse, and murder. This is what you support if you're not vegan. Animals want to live just like us. We are non-violent activists trying to stop a Holocaust.
That was like flipping a switch, wasn't it? The waterworks disappeared and then she started shouting again. And then at the end she says that word, the Holocaust. She obviously needs educating in what a Holocaust is. A Holocaust is when many disappear, not when many are bred into existence. She is totally delusional.
An animal farmer has publicly warned for me not to protest this year's Royal Show.
No, those animals are so pampered, they're so well cared for,
This farmer is so delusional.
they are spoiled absolutely rotten.
This is just sick.
You know, we produce the food that everybody eats. I mean, for heaven's sake, it doesn't come out of the sky.
Let's have a look to see what this animal farmer has to say about me. For those who don't know, the Royal Animal Agricultural Show is a week-long animal abuse and exploitation event that runs in Perth, Western Australia every year in September. In 2021, I did a disruption at the Royal Show. I actually went inside and went in the very middle of a cattle judging ring where animals were being exploited and viewed only as objects and food. I spoke out to the audience saying that animal slavery, abuse and murder is immoral. Whilst I was doing the speak out, holding a sign, a farmer came up from behind me and I had no idea he was there. He grabbed me by the back of my collar and the back of my shorts, giving me a massive wedgie and threw me around and pinned me against a fence.
Personally, I think the farmer did you a favour because you were in a ring with bulls. They are pretty unpredictable animals, and the only disturbance going on was you shouting your gob off as usual. What do you think would have happened if you had upset a bull? He would have done a lot more damage to you than the farmer did. If the bull pinned you up against the fence on the end of its horn, or it decided to trample you, then you wouldn't be here anymore, Tash. Be reasonable. Oh, I forgot you're an animal protester. You don't know what reason is unless it's your reason, do you?
The following year, I returned to that very same cattle ring, this time with another animal rights activist, and we handcuffed and chained ourselves to the cattle ring, refusing to leave, once again to speak up for the animals being exploited for human entertainment and pleasure.
And you're paying for this rape and abuse and murder if you're not vegan!
That farmer's face is absolutely hilarious. You can see he is totally at boiling point. And to be honest, that farmer doesn't do any of the things that Tash is accusing him of. He doesn't run a factory farm. So therefore he doesn't abuse his animals, in which case there's no way she should be protesting there. She should be protesting at places that make a difference. And she says that he profits from these animals, but so do you, Tash. You profit from these animals because it's your content that gets put out, and your OF page is in the links to your content. So you actually make a profit from your protests. So you're a hypocrite as well.
Just a few weeks ago, WAMN Media did an interview with an animal farmer discussing my last protest at the Royal Show and talking about whether or not I would come to this year's Royal Show.
As the Royal Show approaches, regional farmers are trying to discourage vegan activists like Tash Peterson from disrupting the event. In an exclusive interview, the Pastoralists and Graziers Association WA President Tony Seabrook stated that he and the farming community would be very disappointed if he shows up at the Claremont Showgrounds this year. Paige Reed begins our coverage.
Tony, thanks for your time. I want to start by talking about activist Tash Peterson. She has been very vocal in past years about her views on animals in the show. Do you expect her to make another show this year?
I couldn't possibly understand what her thinking is or whether she'd be there or not. It would be very disappointing if she was.
I wonder why you think it would be very disappointing if I came there. Is it because he has something to hide? Does he not like animal rights activists talking about the truth, that non-human animals deserve rights too, and that they should not be enslaved, tortured and murdered? Because that's exactly what the Royal Show is about. It glamorizes animal slavery and murder and normalizes viewing non-human people as food, objects, entertainment and commodities when they are people who have the right to live.
How can you get everything so back to front, Tash? He's not disappointed because you're telling the truth, because you're not telling the truth, are you? The way he farms, his animals are pampered. So it's not him that's lying, it's you. What on earth is a non-human animal? Surely that is a contradiction, isn't it? You're either an animal or you're a human. You can't be a non-human animal. Please make it make sense.
What I would say to her is there's some appalling things happening to livestock out in the rangelands, absolutely horrific. Get yourself tuned in, find out what's happening, and give us a hand to deal with wild dogs and what wild dogs are doing. It is so short-sighted and so insular. You know, the lady really does need to address the views that she holds.
So again, he's now actually shifting the problem onto wild dogs and other animals, and I'm assuming what he's talking about here is maybe the dingoes and other wild animals that come in and actually attack livestock like sheep, etc. That's what I think he's saying here. So he's shifting the problem onto other animals, but the problem is non-vegans actually breeding sheep, cows, chickens, and other animals into existence and murdered. This is the real issue here. Animal slavery. I mean, this is literally the largest Holocaust in history, and this guy's just saying, why doesn't she try and sort out the real issues?
As usual, Tash is spouting her normal bullshit. The animals on the kind of farm that this guy runs do have fun in an animal kind of way. Yes, they are confined so they don't run off. That's normal. They're not confined in the way Tash is suggesting, like they are in factory farming. That's not what's happening at all. So yes, she does need to get into the real world in that respect. And she's saying that dingoes and such attacking the livestock is not a problem. Well, I thought she was an animal activist, someone that was standing up for the animals. So a dingo or a pack of them getting into a field and killing the animals in it is humane, is it? Well, obviously it's not. If you've got a pack of dogs hanging on you and it takes you 15 to 20 minutes to die, you are going to feel all of that. That is not humane. It's a fact of life, but in reality, it is not humane. The way animals are slaughtered is humane because it happens quickly and it takes a few seconds for the animal to die. That is the humane way of doing it, you moron. And all the time you spout what you're spouting, you are just giving the farmers more ammunition to prove what an idiot you really are.
How are these activists and protesters disruptive for you guys?
Well, you know, we produce the food that everybody eats. I mean, for heaven's sake, it doesn't come out of the sky. Now, farmers produce the food that you eat.
So here he's saying, we produce the food that everybody eats. No, animals, you forcibly impregnate them and you force them to live a life of slavery. You view them as commodities, machines and objects to make money and generate income for you, and you torture them, and then you force them into a slaughterhouse to have their throats slit. This isn't producing food. This is a Holocaust. That is just disgusting what he's saying.
The farmers do produce the food that most of us eat, and what food farmers produce is not all animal, is it? It is actually plant food as well. So they actually produce the food that you eat as well, you idiot. And that is how the human race is still in existence, by farmers producing the food. Tash is just a moron, and her arguments make her sound like an absolute lunatic who needs to be put into a straitjacket and put into a lunatic asylum. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ta for now.